Hello, my name is Graham Pollock, and this is my major project presentation for KIN 517. And this is my strategic plan for the BC Park team 2025 to 2027. As the head coach of this program, I felt I wanted to develop something that was a little bit more than just a yearly training plan and go into detail in a multi-year approach. So the purpose of this is to develop a multi-year strategic plan for the BC Park team capable of advancing athletes to the Canadian Next Gen team and create skiers for life. The emphasis of this is on long-term athlete development, personal growth, and overall well-being. This presentation will look at areas of tactics, technical, physical, mental, and emotional development, all the while fostering a positive sport culture. So our mission statement is to develop world-class freestyle skiers, focusing on technical excellence, mental resilience, and passion for the sport, all the while ensuring a pathway to Canada's next-gen team and fostering lifelong athletic development. So the goals for this presentation are to briefly describe the governance structure of BC Freestyle, discuss team selection and talent identification, showcase an overview of a multi-year training plan, and showcase strength and conditioning, nutrition, mental performance, and sport culture as a metric for athlete development, overall well-being, and personal growth. So BC Freestyle is a not-for-profit organization run by a board of directors and operated by a executive director. As you can see in that picture, that's our fearless leader, Josh Dueck, who acts as our executive director. So the executive director is a multifaceted position that oversees day-to-day operations and implements strategy, aids in event planning, and is a liaison with Freestyle Canada to ensure alignment. Along with him, we have a events chair, a high performance director, and head coaches in the park team and mogul team. As I stated before, I'm the head coach of the park team. So key areas of governance are coaching and athlete development, which helps get coaches amongst the province gain certifications necessary to implement proper athlete development around the province. We run programs and events from a regional, such as we call it the Shred Series, provincial, which is Timber Tour, and national level events. So although we don't directly run our Canada Cup or NORAMs, we play a heavy hand if they are in our province. So we have a Canada Cup in our province as well as senior nationals. And the purpose of that is to showcase athlete development and create a fun and safe environment for the athletes to compete. Our areas of governance is also related to finance and funding. So our finance committee works to acquire government grants, sponsorships, and implement athlete fees to create a financially sustainable and financially balanced organization. They also are in charge of policy and compliance, so they develop a safe and inclusive environment for athletes, coaches, and volunteers. And they're involved in the partnerships and stakeholder engagement. So maintaining strong relationship with all stakeholders, including Freestyle Canada, local ski resorts, sponsors, and the community, such as athletes, coaches, parents, volunteers, etc. So moving on to team selection and identification. So because I'm in year 3 of a 4-year quadrennial, the reason that we even do a quadrennial is it's offset from the national team, since they're very much we're in year 4. They're very much going into an Olympic year. There hasn't been a lot of movement this upcoming year. So because of that, I don't have a lot of movement going on to the next gen team. Over the next two seasons, there will be. So that's why it's really important for me to really develop the team strong right now. So my current team is 13 athletes. 2025-26, we'll actually reduce that number to 11. Team selection criteria is based on competition results, technical ability, mental performance, physiology, like strength and conditioning components, and commitment and work ethic. None of these are more important than the others. They are all taken into consideration. Um, However, just to reduce subjectivity from myself and the board of directors, we rely heavily on competition results unless there are athletes showcasing like a lot of these other elements. Uh, so the 2026-27 season, it's going to be a bit of a hybrid approach because it's going to be the start of a rebuild, as well as further development of my train to compete athletes that don't make next gen and are quite close or get injured throughout the previous season. So this upcoming year, we won't have any semblance of a talent identification camp. However, I believe that has stronger potential in April 2026. In the event that I don't get to see a lot of the athletes in the province throughout the competition year, because I will be at NORAM events, and a lot of the up and coming athletes compete at the national level, which I don't have time throughout the season to go to. So the reason I'm doing a multi-year training plan, the purpose of this multi-year training plan is to first and foremost ensure athletes are happy and healthy while targeting towards NORAM podiums and next gen selection. Uh, we also want to take into consideration long-term athlete development, healthy habits that transcend athletic performance while fostering a positive sport culture. So in year one, which is this upcoming season, there's going to be a heavy focus on airbag, trampoline, as well as injury mitigation, with a heavy emphasis on skill mastery over skill acquisition. The previous 2 years was really heavy on skill acquisition, like such as learning new tricks. Whereas this upcoming 2 seasons, is going to be really based on taking the skills that they have, incorporating new grabs, and just developing consistency so they can hit those podiums that they deserve. With that being said, we're going to be doing a lot of airbag training, which is 25 or plus. On the YTP I've developed, we have 28 days of progression airbag training, um, which means we're going to do lots of high volume, lower intensity training. Like with as I said, the focus on skill mastery, which just requires a lot of volume and doing things in repetition. We will have one on snow preseason camp, uh, probably in Finland this upcoming season. It's dedicated again to high volume training and just really working those tricks so they feel confident going into the competition season. So the total cost of year one, I budgeted 42,000 per athlete and a coaching cost of 30,000. The reason that it's lessened is because the athletes are required to, although their team fees cover a lot of the coach travel, it does not cover overseas camps, of which the season will have two. And the athletes are required to pay a team fee. Obviously, the coach doesn't have to pay that. So, some key performance indicators from year one. Athlete health throughout the season is number one priority. I'd like to see a 10% increase in fitness testing metrics. So not a whole lot, but that's because we've done a lot of skill acquisition and developing them so they can actually hit very strong targets in fitness testing the previous 2 years. Uh, Athletes demonstrate positive sport culture, so just really getting along and participating in team activities. There's some technical measures that I want to incorporate from the males and females on jumps and rails. And in the end, if we can have the majority of the athletes in the top 10 in Canada of the HPP rankings, excluding national team members, that would demonstrate, that would show that we actually hit our targets. And I would like to see one male podium, each of the males get a podium at NORAM or nationals, and each of the females get a podium at NORAMs. So year two, it's going to be a beginning of a restructuring phase. So we will be taking on more athletes and likely have a team selection or talent identification. The remainder of the train to compete athletes in year two, I'd like to see make it onto next gen. And if they don't, I want to see them developing a plan going into retirement for competition, and ideally they're just proud of their accomplishments. They all work very hard, and so I'd like to see them exit competition proud of what they've done. So again, this will be high volume, low intensity with more on snow. This year we'll be doing instead of 5 airbag camps, it'll be 3 airbag camps with 3 on snow. Again, even though we're going to be doing more on snow training, the athlete costs will be the same, and so will the coaching costs. So at the end of year 2, some key performance indicators will be the athletes remaining happy and healthy, athletes demonstrating a 20% increase in fitness testing results. I have here from previous years, so we will be putting more of an emphasis on fitness testing that year. I'd also like to see two men and 2 women placed on next gen from 2025 to 2027. So from right now until the end of 2027. 4 podiums at Canada Games, so that covers slopestyle and big air, men's and women's. So with 12 potential podiums, I'd like to take 25% of those. And then 3 men and 2 women in the top 10 of the HPP rankings, excluding national team members, moving into the 2027-28 ski season. So some very important things that take place within our strategic plan is strength and conditioning. This comes from a 2-pronged approach from a technicals acquisition standpoint, as well as injury prevention. I do want them to get better at skiing, and that's one purpose of strength and conditioning. But I also want to make sure that they're mitigating as injuries. Injury is a very big, or it's a very big part of freestyle skiing, and so the more we can mitigate that risk, the better. There's 3 major injuries: knee, shoulder, and concussions. And so working with our kinesiologist, I want to make sure that they advance their fitness testing metrics, as well as mitigate these 3 injuries, as well as others, but majorly these 3. So learning nutrition, because the purpose of this team is to take really good skiers and turn them into high performance athletes. Nutrition plays a role in an education piece more so than a performance optimization. Although performance optimization is really important, I can't weigh down the athletes with too much information at once. So realistically, if they can be in a mindset that nutrition plays an important role in nutrition and hydration in their performance, then it will be mission accomplished. So as long as they understand what protein, carbs, vitamins, minerals, how hydration plays an important role, as long as they're educated in that, I'll know that I've done my job successfully. So that can come from workshops, maybe individualized programs if really needed, that will seek dietitian assistance for that, because I am no dietitian and I don't try to be. Um, Fostering a positive sport culture is not only important for athletic performance, but it transcends sport into lifelong skills. So, as you can see here, we do partake in activities outside of training, and that's really important to me because at the end of the day, weather happens, injuries happen, athletes don't make it to the top, but if they can leave their competitive time with me knowing that they had the best times of their lives, then that's another metric for me that I've done a good job. And so it's really important that we participate in activities, we participate in team bonding, and we make use of down days. So, in conclusion, the BC Freestyle Ski Team's strategic plan for 2025 to 2027 is built on a holistic approach to athlete development, combining technical progression, physical preparation, mental performance, and a strong team culture. By aligning with LTAD principles and prioritizing long-term success over short-term gains, this plan ensures athletes are equipped to not only perform at their highest level, but utilize their skills to transcend freestyle skiing into the world outside and after competitive sport. Through clear objectives, structured support systems, and commitment to fostering a positive and inclusive environment, the BC team is positioned to continue producing well-rounded, resilient, and high-performing freestyle skiers. This strategic plan, although thorough in areas, is limited to some planning, predominantly in with regards to fundraising, coach development, and how to maximize an integrated support team such as strength and conditioning, mental performance, and dietary concerns. With that being said, this comprehensive plan, along with its key performance indicators, will give guidance to the board of directors, athletes, and other coaches so that we have a structured program throughout the years. Thank you for listening to my presentation.